Just describe, I mean, Leo was just talking about the interesting decision that you have when you have a punter who can finish inside the 5-yard line, but then also a kicker who can obviously kick from 70.
That was a special moment. I mean, I think the group, not only the specialist realized how cool that was, but you saw the team just get behind Cam, and they realize how talented he is and the type of person he is. So they love him to death, and you could just see the excitement not only for the team but for him and our group. So pretty cool moment. Obviously, it's preseason. We understand that, but it was so cool to be a part of that. And again, because he's so talented, because the operation is so great, you feel comfortable sending him out there in those kind of unique positions of like that.
So, in your opinion, that's now the record in the NFL, or are you saying it's preseason?
It's preseason. It's really cool, but regular season would be even better. So that's the goal, but regular season is a little bit different. So. But it was really, really, really a cool moment for us.
Heath, from all aspects, from Cam to Logan to coverage to the returners, this unit has been operating at a pretty high efficiency for as long as those specialists have been together. What kind of comfort does that give the offensive and defensive coaches knowing that kind of production is going to exist in the special teams?
I mean, hopefully it does. I mean, I think that's part of it. So, 3 phases of the game. How can we kind of work hand in hand to help each other? Hopefully we can pin them deep, in our coverage groups, whether it's kickoff or punt, and make teams go 80 plus, 90 yards against our defense. And then offensively, hopefully we can shorten some fields and, you get in that fringe area where it's, 40-yard line. Is it a go for it? Is it a punt situation? You can kick some of those longer kicks, obviously, with our kicker, but our punter's really good as well. So he's the best in the NFL and inside the 10, and so he's as talented as anybody. So we're very, very fortunate.
And coaches love it when you have options. I mean, your 2 kickers give Liam options too.
Yeah. They're the best in the game, and throw Ross in there as a 2-time Pro Bowler. So we're among some really good players, and they work every day, and that's the cool thing is you see them every day, the way they work, the way they prepare. They want to be great every single day. And it shows up come game days in the stadium.
As far as coverage goes, behind DT, at gunner, who have you kind of seen emerge?
Well, Antonio Johnson's obviously been a core guy for us. Antonio's been fantastic in all phases, really, not just gunner. He's a stud. But we have some young players done really well. I mean, I think that was a good display what Rayon Lane did in the game. I mean, that's something we've seen all training camp. And it didn't surprise me he was going to show up as a gunner outside. We have such good competition outside. Chandler Brayboy has done a good job as well. So there's a bunch of good players mixed between our veteran core guys that have been really studs for us to these young players that are super competitive, that are looking for a job. So it's going to come down, we got 2 more preseason games of evals as well as out here at practice. It's going to be so important.
Does Cam approach the game or his craft a little bit maybe mature beyond his years for just a second-year guy?
Yeah, and you well said. Is he's not a rookie, and he wasn't even last year. There was times when I had to kind of remind myself of, don't forget this guy is a rookie. I don't have, because I kind of took it for granted at times of all those little things that he had never seen or never done. But I think it's a big part of those 2 guys, those 2 leaders that are next to him. Those guys just lead him big time. They're his big brother. I mean, they just look after him. They pick on him like a little brother, but they also take him under their wing, and they've just been great leadership for him. And but yeah, he's so mature.
So what is the areas that he gets better? I mean, I would assume if you're just in your second year that there's still a lot more room for growth at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always room for growth. I mean, I think start with kickoffs. We were trying to hang up some kicks in the game, and he's sometimes his you put him too deep. He's kicking long field goals, he's kicking long kickoffs. So those are some of the things we work on, and that's there's always room for how can we be more efficient. We got to get the operation time down. Stuff like that. All those things we're always working. There's never a time when we're celebrating that field goal, but there's definitely we got to get better.
Heath, what does the K-ball rule change do for specialists? And what, not to take away from a 70-yard field goal still, but does that help specialists out to have it all week long and get it ready, or how different is it?
I think it's going to give the equipment guys more, more time on game day. The equipment guy Colin, he's working his butt off every day. The past few years of making sure that ball and that allowed time to get ready. Well, now he has time to do it. As far as the ball, it's the exact same ball. They're having him prepared just like it was before. There's no difference in that. That's not why he made 70. He's been making 70s in practice and last season. So it's not that's not why.
I was curious.
Yep.
Back to coverage, Liam specifically mentioned Christian Braswell and the opportunity he has in front of him, and then Danny Strigow, I know, was a guy who got in pretty early on coverage unit too on Saturday.
Yeah, both those guys done really, really well. Braswell, I thought, did a good job at corner. He had some gunner reps. I mean, he's done a good job. Obviously with the opportunities to take advantage of, but he's done that since he's been here. He's done a good job, and I saw him this morning and said, told him how well he played. So he's done well. But there's a bunch of guys. Danny did really well. Jack Kaiser's done a good job. So we've got good young players that are mixing with our veteran players, that are all competing for a tough roster to make.
I know he's been off to the side for the most part, healing up from his injury, but getting Dennis Gardeck, how much does that excite you? And see a guy that just as a coordinator, around the league is just one of those dudes as a special teams player.
Yeah, I've been watching Dennis for a ton of years. He shows up every time he turns his tape on. He can take over games. I don't know if I had more special teams coaches to text me after we signed him than any other time. He's a guy that's been a marquee player, and I see why he's so good. The way he prepares, just communicating with them. He's very, very smart and detailed. We're kind of bringing him in slowly, but he's in the meeting rooms. He does everything you ask, and comes for extra meetings and all the extra stuff. So you see why he's been a talented player, a force in all phases.
You're always active during practice, like not just during the special teams period. You're helping out with offense, you're helping out with defense. Is that something you're asked to do, or is that just you trying to, help out?
I think it's a little both. I think new staff came in. Liam asked, if I'd run the whistle for him, and so it's a little bit of that. In the past, I've helped Rich Angula with tight ends. Rich was a teammate of mine back with the Minnesota Vikings, 15, 20 years ago, so a longtime friend of mine. So I've always, enjoyed it, and I can't sit around the sidelines and just watch practice. I get too much energy, so I just run around as best I can. So a lot of it's just voluntary.
All right, thanks.